Hey guys, welcome back to SuperMarcelWorld and welcome to this review for Scream 7. 7 already? Yes, 7. I was very much looking forward to this movie for two reasons. A, it's a Scream movie, I love the franchise, so I'm always thrilled for a new entry. And B, franchise lead Neve Campbell returns as Sidney Prescott. What can go wrong? So was it as great as I hoped, or was it a letdown, or was it something in between? I'll tell you how I feel in this review, but beware of some minor spoilers. Nothing big, but I just gotta warn you. Let's stop talking and dive right in. Here we go. The story. Sidney Prescott, now Sydney Evans, has built a new life for herself and her family outside of Woodsboro. When a new ghostface killer surfaces and targets Sydney's daughter Tatum, Sydney has to give it her all, not only fighting for herself but also for her family. And she has to do it before Ghostface can get to them. What I like: the kills. As always, Ghostface makes good use of his or her knife. And of course, stabbing once is not enough. There are a few kills where Ghostface drops the knife and gets creative. And one of them in particular, the one in the bar, is absolutely awesome. Maybe a little bit too much, but I don't care. It's awesome. Returning characters. I'm glad Sydney is back as a main character, because after all, this is her franchise. But on the other hand, and the movie makes you wonder, how many times can we do this? How many times can we see Sydney versus Ghostface without it getting boring, predictable, irrelevant maybe? I didn't feel any sense of threat because you just know they are not going to kill Sydney off. This franchise doesn't have the balls that Halloween Resurrection had. That's not a good movie at all, but it had balls to do what it did in the opening sequences. But I guess I don't want them to do that either. I love Sydney. I'm also glad Gail Weathers is back as she does what she usually does, except this time she's hardly part of the action. I like Mindy and Chad from the previous two movies and I was glad to see them return as well. I forgot to put the mask back. There we go. It's back. Mixed feelings. The story. The story is okay. It's not terrible, but it's not great either. As always, they add new elements to the familiar formula. But does that still cut it? No, I guess not. It's fun, but overall it's the same formula as always. And you know, you can't really blame them, because where can you go after 7 frickin' movies? But this movie is written by Kevin Williamson, who wrote the original Scream 2 and Scream 4, so I guess I expected just a little bit more from him. What I don't like: the characters. One of the weak points in the film is the set of new characters, especially Sydney's daughter Tatum. You're supposed to care for her because you don't want Sydney's daughter to get hurt or to get killed, but unfortunately I didn't feel a thing. I didn't want her to get killed only because it's Sydney's daughter, but the character itself, I didn't really care. And because of that, there wasn't a real threat. Hardly any of these new kids are interesting. They're just fodder. Well, except for Chloe, because I liked her, but her screen time is so limited, it's hard to feel anything for her either. Killer reveal. This franchise is known for the big shocker at the end. The reveal of the killer, or killers. The trailer and the story play with the return of Stu Macher, one of the original Ghostface killers. Can he really be alive after all these years? I won't tell. I will not spoil it for you, but it was fun to see Matthew Lillard return. In which way he does return, my lips are sealed. And that's not a spoiler. It was revealed early on that Matthew Lillard, who plays Stu, would be involved in some capacity. But the big surprise moment at the end, when they pull the mask off, that moment was kind of disappointing. You expect to go, but I went like, oh. That wasn't it. Most magical moment. I'm tempted to go with that one brutal kill in the bar, but I'll go, and I'll have to be careful what I say, I'll go with the part with the cameos. Let's just keep it at that. That part, yeah, that was pretty awesome. Did you know? The voice of Ghostface, Roger L. Jackson, and Courtney Cox are the only two who were involved in all 7 films. Kevin Williamson convinced Neve Campbell to return, and she convinced him to direct. Overall, Scream 7 is an enjoyable entry in the series, however, it is a little flawed. I'm glad with the returning characters, but the new characters were uninteresting. There are a few good jump scares, but on the other side it's a little predictable and there's no sense of real threat, because you know they're not gonna kill Sydney off, and I didn't really feel for the daughter. They add a few new elements, and on the other side, it's kind of predictable. So the question is the formula worn down? Yes, I guess it is. In my opinion, Scream 8 will have to do things totally different. Not just add new elements to the story, but just take an overall new formula. How about putting Ghostface in a camp or an isolated location like an island? Yes, we saw that in I Still Know What You Did Last Summer, but that's still a cool idea. I love that feeling of isolation. Or how about we just put Ghostface in space? Okay, the last one was a joke. Or was it? I give Scream 7 6 out of 10 Ghostface knives. So that's it for now, guys. Thanks so much for watching. Did you see Scream 7? Let me know below how you feel. We'll talk. If you have the time, hit that like button, subscribe, or maybe check out some of the other videos. You might like them, try them out. And of course, as always, I hope to see you back next time. Bye.